What's up, guys? Limbus company. We've got some more news. I just wanted to say sorry that I missed the March 9th update. I feel bad about it, so decided to quickly mention it in this video before we go into other news. So there's been some combat changes. Skill slots can be now added to dashboard between waves. Myself, I don't exactly know what that means, so if you know exactly what this change entails, then please let me know. The next thing is the staggered units no longer will have 0 speed, which it basically means that when your units or enemy units get staggered, the next turn, basically the turn when they are in the staggered state, now they will roll speed and they will have a chance to recover from that staggered state before they get attacked, right? At least that's how I see it, meaning they will not, if you're slower than them, you will not be able to attack them with the extra damage because of their staggered state, so something to keep in mind. Now also status effects got changed a little bit. Here's the specific scenario where the ability says it will inflict 1 burn next turn, and the next turn will result in 1 count and 1 burn. Makes sense. However, this instance, when it says inflict 1 burn next turn and then you use ability that gives +1 burn count next turn, it will still result in 1/1, which doesn't make sense. And so after the update, now the first scenario stays the same, but the second one goes into 2/1 result, because the inflict 1 burn next turn, now the system sees it as 1/1 instance instead of 0/1. So for us it's not important, but yeah, that's combat system sees this specific trigger differently. That's why now it will result in correct assumption of 2/1. Now another thing they added was the keyword highlight for tooltips, for skills, passives, ego gifts. Great change. I wanted that change for well, pretty much since the beginning, because I didn't know what things were doing. So to show you in game, now you will be able to go into your units or even during the combat, and now you'll be able to see what the buff actually does. To me, this is very useful insight here when you preview characters, because at the beginning, as a new player, you see poison, you have no idea what poison does. In order to find it, you either would have to go on wiki, or you would have to go in combat, and then in combat read the description of the buff/debuff while you're fighting. That's what I did, for example. But now you'll be able to see what the buff or debuff exactly does, just from the character view or ego view or ego gift view. So another thing is that we had the description wrong for the beginner banner, the 20 pull 1 that guaranteed a 3-star unit. Actually, it guarantees a 3-star unit or a gift, ego, or an ego, and it said before that it only guarantees a 3-star character, which was wrong. Because of that, all of us got compensation if your account was created before March 9th, and the compensation was this ticket right here, the 3-star guaranteed ticket. It was basically a 10 pull that guarantees you a 3-star identity. Now the ticket itself, there's an interesting thing going on, because we've got the ticket before the update, meaning before this banner was on, right? So we didn't have access to Grosshammer Meyer Salt yet, or the Middle Hammer Rodion. However, after the patch went live, I checked the details again for the ticket, for this banner, and as you can see, Grosshammer is here, and so is the Rodion version, right here, the Middle Hammer version of Rodion. So that might mean that every new identity in this season will be on this ticket as well. So up to you if you want to hold it, but I definitely will for the time being hold it for the next few new identity releases, and whenever I feel like I have a decent amount of new identities to pull from, I think then I will burn this ticket to have a decent chance of getting actual new one instead of the original cast. So something to keep in mind. Right. The next things on our list are the bug fixes and improvements. I'm not gonna read through them, but all you need to know, the game got better, basically. And then obviously we've got the 300 lunacy as usual for updates. Right, here we have the trailer. There's no sound for it, unfortunately. I'm not sure why, but yeah, it's the trailer for the new. This is the new 2-star Rodion. Her skills and actions which look pretty good, and then the 3-star Meyer Salt as well. He also looks pretty decent, like Inquisitor or something. Myself, I'm not a fan personally of the characters, so I don't really care too much. But from what I heard, people have been liking him, so might be a decent character to pull for if you're still thinking. There's the Rodion. I will go into the game instead to talk about both of them, since again I'm late with the video, so we should be able to see both of them here. There you go. Here's the Meyer Salt, the Grosshammer version. His first skill is very whatever, honestly. Only 5 skill power by default, +1 on coin, 2 coin, pretty low, but he is a tank, so it's expected that the coins will be low. The second skill is way better. You have 2 coins with +3 power and 6 base. That means if you're hit only 1 coin, you're 9 power on your skill, which is pretty good, honestly, for a tank. No complaints with this skill. Also nice that it's a red mana. I feel like red, well, affinity. I feel like red affinity is pretty rare, or at least for me, it's hard to get, so not too bad. And then dark blue, also good, good affinity to get. And this one has 8 default, which is very good. 8 default power is very good. You get +3 and you have 2 coins, so again, with just 1 coin, you're on 11. Very good skill. Also, you inflict nails here, you heal. Here you have what, more nails, I think, and more bleed. So again, like, to me, the character seems very good. Like, most first skills for characters are pretty whatever, but his second and third skill are definitely nice. You also get some protection here. Again, I think the character is pretty good tank. So if you like him, I think he will be worth pulling for. Now let's go to the Rodion. Right here. Rodion. She's a 2-star, so don't expect big things here. Her stats indicate she's definitely a damage dealer. 3-7 speed, low defense, low HP in comparison to her 3-star version, for example. Her 3-star version is slower, but has more tankiness, more HP and more defense. So her first skill is again Bleed, which is on point with the with her versions and with this theme of Inquisitors, Knights. Her first skill is free, only base power, 2 coins with +4, which honestly is not too terrible. That means if you get 1 coin, you're on 7 power, which is it's okay. It's okay. There's a chance you might actually win a coin toss. Unlikely, but it's a blue mana too, which is good. Or blue affinity, which is again good. Her next skill is orange, 6 base +2 and 2 coin tosses, which honestly is not too bad. You have 8 if you land 1 of them, so it's okay. It's decent. You get 1 fanatic debuff buff as well, so not too bad. Again, all about nails and bleed. You also have some paralyze on this skill. So, and now her red skill, which again red affinity, very nice to have. You deal extra damage if you have the fanatic buff, which you probably would get from the orange one by this point. Inflicts bleed, has 4 base power, 4 coins and +2 on each of them, meaning if you land 2 coins out of 4, you're on 8, which is again pretty decent. Like her clash capability is not big, but on average she should be winning decent amount of them, and when she does, the damage could be decent. Honestly, we'll see how she pans out in action. I'll be on the lookout what people think of her, since I'm not pulling. I already like my 3-star enough, so I don't really feel like investing into a 2-star of her, so cannot buy me. Alright, that's it for the characters. Now let's get to the exciting stuff. Egos were dropped, or previews of new egos. Here's the first one. This has sound. Oh, that's nice. Both of those egos are the same. It's the whole ego. So the first animation. Is the normal state of the ego. The second animation is the chaotic state of the character. So exactly, let's see, what do they call it exactly? The corrosion state, right? This one. So this is the awakening or the normal version of the skill, right? And here's the corrosion, meaning when you're in negative morale, you have a chance to go into this state and you lose control over your character and they will autocast the skill, right? So that's what the preview was showing, the first one being the normal one and the second one being the corrosion. Now this one is for Dawn, which looks decent, but I'm more excited for the second one. how cool. How cool does this look, dude? Look at this. Yeah. I'm digging this a lot. It looks very, very good. Yeah. So, if you didn't notice, this one is for Faust, which is my favorite character in the game. Currently, I'm one of the people that are waiting for the 3-star version of Faust, so I'm definitely excited. I'm definitely excited for this one. So soon enough, we should be getting more info about both of those, what tier they are and how strong they are. So can't wait. All right. Another new content that has been announced. This one will be coming in early April, so about like 2 weeks from now. Probably more like 3 weeks. This is called Refraction Railway. This is basically content. The way I see it, it's similar to towers. Like in most games, you will have a tower that you climb. I think this will be basically it. The only difference is that this will reset every week, and every month it will completely change. So let's just go over the whole content here, the description. So you will fight through various fights and encounters for various weekly rewards, right? And your identities, level, tiers, thread spin tiers, as well as your egos will be carried, meaning it will not work as Mirror Dungeon where you increase your units and egos as you go, or ego gifts and stuff like that as you go. Instead, everything you have and everything you've built will be carried over immediately, right? So here your characters and how they're built matters. So it will be basically treated as an endgame content for the season 1. So this is what we'll be doing as endgame players. Now we're supposed to be strategizing and optimizing teams to fight those enemies, right? And on the weekly basis, we'll be able to get some rewards from this content. Now, they're saying that they want it to be high difficulty content and that they will try to make enemies and stuff like that, and there will be no roguelike and elements to it like they were in the Mirror Dungeon. So none of that. It will be just pure foes and abnormalities you fight, and that's it. So again, like, to me that sounds like tower basically in most games. Now, the enter cost is 1 module, which is pretty low, and after you've entered the dungeon for the first time in the week, you can enter it for free for the rest of the week. So if you failed or you want to retry clearing, then you can enter and try to clear it again for no additional cost. And you will choose a number of identities and ego to begin expedition with. So I'm assuming you will only be able to bring some of the egos and some of the identities, not everything. So that's something to keep in mind. So far, the dungeon will consist of 13 combat encounters, and they will get progressively more difficult, which, yeah, okay, that makes sense. All of those encounters are predetermined, meaning they are the exactly same every week, minus the fact that every month they will change those encounters, right? Now, the change, well, not change, but the design I'm not sure if I like is the fact that HP and SP of your sinners will carry over between encounters. That means that if you have those 13 levels, right? And on level, let's say 5, you got unlucky and you lost half health on 2 of your units. Well, now, for the rest of the levels, those units will be half health. So let's say on the floor 6, because they were low health, they got slapped again and they lost another 25%, right? And then the next level, they died, or one of them died. Well, now for the rest of the levels, you're only on 4 people, which basically means that one floor that was unlucky can result in you just losing the whole run and you having to restart it from 0. I'm not sure if I'm a fan of that. We'll see how difficult the content will be and if they will want to change something, but yeah, I'm not sure about that. I don't feel good about it, to be honest. Now, after clearing a number of encounters, a special event will occur to let you choose between healing your sinners or giving them buffs. Again, it sounds like, oh, you won't be able to get HP and SP, but you will be able to heal them. But it says or giving them buffs, and to me, if you want to actually clear the whole thing and get all the rewards, you probably will have to maximize and utilize those buffs. So you will not be able to let yourself just heal them, because you will need the buffs to complete the encounters. We'll see if that will be the case, but I mean, to me it sounds like you just have to have a good run on all 13 stages in one go, and if you get unlucky somewhere, you will have to restart from 0. That's what it sounds like. Now, if you will lose any of those battles, your progress will be reset. That means that if you effed up on one of the stages, well, now you're back to 0 and you have to clear from start, which is again weird to me. I felt like you would have to just, restart the same encounter again, but I don't think that will be the case. I don't think you will be able to restart the same encounter if you got unlucky somewhere. So I guess you won't be able to like cheat the system. Maybe I get super lucky and clear it, even though I shouldn't be able to with my units. I guess that's what it's preventing, but I don't know. We'll see how this will work out. So, and then in terms of rewards, again, every week we will get some first time rewards for clearing those encounters, and final encounter will give a dungeon clear reward as well. So again, your aim will be to actually clear the whole thing, because I bet the reward at the end for the clearing of this will be good. Again, pretty nice stuff. We'll see more about it in April. Now, another thing, or last thing on the list, are the combat adjustments that they have planned. I don't want to go in depth here because those changes have been pushed. They said so in March 16th update, that those changes are pushed for March 23rd, which means that next week, when we get the patch notes, that's when I will be talking about it. So I don't want to spend much time here. Basically, they just want to do the resonance stuff when you match the same colors on your combat. They want to increase the offense and defense on those skills because of you matching them, which, yeah, that sounds good to me. The defense skill, guard and evade, both of those will work differently in combat, and they will be affected by the character growth as well, meaning that some characters will be weaker / stronger with their guard evade skills, depending on what stat they have, their defense level. Then some changes to stagger. Basically, make it so units that are tanks have less stagger like options, like they cannot get staggered as easily, and then the damage dealers can be staggered more often and more reliably. And then the last one is the clashes will have more damage, basically more damage bonus, but they're saying that all of those adjustments are still in development, so you know, subject to change, and they had to delay this already once because of some problems with the content difficulty, because when you do changes like that, obviously the content difficulty will change as well, right? You have to account for that, so they had to push it for the next week. So we'll see what the actual changes and numbers and more in depth what they're doing with this. So, but that's about it. The video has been long enough already. That's it from me. I will see you next time. Peace.